And it was on this day that Sora received a grim reminder. And that reminder is that Titans rule all. Well, anyways, hello there everybody, this is Gerald Snivy and welcome back to more Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Today we're going to be taking on the remaining optional bosses within the game, and there are only 2 left. Speaking of which, here's one of them now, the Ice Titan, who I've gotten my butt served on a silver platter last time I fought him back during the live recording session, which involved me being at roughly around level 60-ish. Like level 63 at that. Maybe. Who knows? I can't remember for sure, but either way, I was in the 60s as far as levels were. I can't speak tonight. That's bad. Bad. Bad, Snivy. Bad. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying anymore. Now at this particular point, now that I'm familiar with the Ice Titan, as far as my previous battle experience with them is concerned, and also leveling up a lot, I now stand a much better chance of fighting the Ice Titan and defeating him than pretty much ever before. Reason as to why I got my butt handed to me before: high damage output and he attacked me really fast. Plus I didn't have as much health as I do now. So that kinda sucked back then, but now is not the time to really grieve on the past, because the past is the past. And now I'm a hell of a lot stronger, faster, and I have been rebuilt because they have the technology. As for the Ice Titan himself, as I said earlier from previous battle experience, he's gotten a lot easier for some reason. How is this? Probably because I can take a lot more hits from him, and now I have a general idea what I have to do to face him. One other thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I equipped Strike Rate thinking maybe I can attack him from a distance, and with the invincibility frames it'll help me out tremendously as well. Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bit of a hit and miss, because with Strike Rate you have to strike the Ice Titan at the head, and the only way to do so is to deflect them icicles back at him. Right back at you. One other thing I haven't mentioned yet: don't drop from the stands whenever you do. That's basically a mistake waiting to happen. The reason why I dropped down there in the first place was because I figured I needed to get closer to execute the strike raid and actually hit him properly, but didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. Deflecting the icicles of which this thing casts, at least the small ones, that is the way to go. That's the way to win the fight. Do not be afraid to use plenty of healing spells either. Eventually, you'll hit the Ice Titan enough times to make it drop to its knees. And when it does, drop down from the stands, and that's really the only time you should drop down from the stands, and attack its head. And at this point, you're free to use Strike Rate if you want. I think Ragnarok will work out better here. And honestly, I didn't even think about using Ragnarok until this particular fight, or more or less this attempt. At first I thought I was going to lose in a sense, but at the same time, I was confident within my abilities to actually succeed in the fight no matter what. Even with less than efficient setup, but hey, it works nonetheless. It really does, and with surprising results. Now, the main reason why you do not want to drop from the stands is because whenever the Ice Titan moves or changes positions, he'll create shockwaves on the ground, and you're going to have a bad time when he moves. And he does so quite often. Especially when you're facing away from him. So all in all, stay on the stands as much as possible. Even if you have to switch to the other stands that are on the other side of the arena, don't be afraid to do so. One other thing I haven't mentioned yet, tripping is a thing in this fight. How exactly? Well, the Ice Titan can create some ice with his ice breath. When he does, he'll create this icy path that lays on the ground, as you can barely see right there. If you happen to slip and fall on it, then you're going to have a bad time. And I feel like you do take quite a bit of damage just by slipping and falling. But then again, maybe you don't take any sort of damage whatsoever, but it does leave you vulnerable to other attacks. So keep this in mind. Although I know I just slipped and I didn't really pay attention to my HP bar. There I go, not paying attention to things again, but whatever. So, all in all, the Ice Titan, I gave him a lot more credit than what was previously due. And that was because of my low level and getting my butt handed to me on a silver platter very, very quickly. And getting it handed to me faster than Sephiroth handed my butt on a silver platter and sent me flying to next Tuesday. Again, that was a long time ago, and we're not worried about that now. What I will mention is that the Ice Titan will eventually start using some sort of Kamehameha kind of ice beam-like attack, and he'll freeze you in place, and when he does, oh boy, it's not fun being frozen. And no, you don't want to build a snowman with him. Trust me, you don't. So, let it go, my friend. Just let it go. God, that was horrible. Absolutely horrendous. But this fight, not so much. Not as horrendous. It was a fun fight. Same with Sephiroth. The fight against Sephiroth was probably the most insane fight I've had in this entire freaking game. Even more so than the final boss. Spoiler alert. But, whatever. Whatever. One thing I will mention is when the Ice Titan does that freezing motion like that, that is the signal to say, hey, start moving, move to the other side of the stadium, and do it very, very quickly. Having Super Glide is essentially your best friend here. One other piece of advice I will be willing to give, and it's just three words. It's 3 words. Keep moving! And that is all, folks. Just keep moving and keep dancing. Trust me, you want to be as evasive as possible. Now here, Ragnarok could really come in handy and finish off the Ice Titan quickly, but I didn't have Ragnarok equipped, so screw me. It makes me a sad panda, and it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Same with the karate camera. Sometimes you're just forced into a very uncomfortable position. But that's just the way it is. Have I mentioned this yet? By that, I mean, have I mentioned yet that guard is your best friend in this fight? Because you pretty much need it in order to block the projectiles of which the Ice Titan will throw at you constantly. And when he does throw that stuff at you, just block him and eventually you'll win. That's essentially what you have to do. Funny enough, every time you block the Ice Titan's icicle attacks, you gain a bit of experience via tech points. And if you have multiple tech boosts equipped, you can get some serious experience just by fighting the Ice Titan alone. But of course, I didn't really use them for level grinding because it wasn't even needed. And besides, it would have been a bad idea anyway. I have plenty of other Heartless who I could fight in order to even do so in the first place, and I'm glad I did. Boy, oh boy, am I glad I did that. Now it's time to finish this thing off. Bada bing, bada boom. Strength up and learned Air Combo Plus. Which, spoiler alert, I never use. The reason is because I didn't even think about equipping it. Oh well. It wasn't really needed anyway because I rarely attack enemies in the air. So, who's the Titan now? Yeah, that's what I thought. Get your butt out of here, you freak. So long, Ice Titan. It was nice knowing you. And with that, we attained another Final Mix exclusive weapon, Diamond Dust. And also, another trophy. Actually, two of them. First, Blade Master. And the other, the Frosty Giant. Now for Diamond Dust's description. It greatly enhances magic and summoning power. Raises max MP by 3. Unfortunately, it drops your strength significantly. Unless you're going the path of the mage, it's not really all that useful. It's kind of disappointing that both of the Final Mix exclusive weapons for Sora, they kind of suck. I know, it's really sad but true. Unless you're going for crits, then there's nothing really that magnificent about the weapons. They look cool, and really that's about it. It's rather sad, but whatever. Disappointment aside, let's get ready to move on to the next one. After another cutscene which never appeared in the original game. And this one is really, really awesome. Reminds me a lot of a similar event that occurs in Kingdom Hearts 2. Which I can't wait to freaking play, by the way. So, Sephiroth, what's up, boy? You ready to dance with good old Cloud? No. Now then. I've been looking for you. As have I. As long as you exist, I'll never wake from this nightmare. You're my darkness. I'm a part of you, am I? Then join me in this eternal nightmare. Yeah. You get the point. Let's dance. And with that, the battle was so epic, we couldn't see the rest of the fight, which is rather sad and stupid at the same time. But whatever, it's okay. Now that all of the original final boss, no, not wrong words are being used today. All of the original optional bosses have been dealt with. Now it's time to take on the Final Mix exclusive optional boss. And he can be found here in the Castle Chapel of Hollow Bastion. Remember this one room where we fought Maleficent the first time and then entered the dark portal to fight her dragon form? Well, we're essentially going to the same place again. And we're going to be fighting someone from a future Kingdom Hearts title, believe it or not. In this game, he is referred to as just simply question mark, because he is an unknown person to Sora at this particular moment in time. Before we get started, I figured I'd talk to the princesses who remained here and asked them how they were doing, and they were just talking about the darkness that just spawned out of nowhere, which is this. So with that in mind, let's head inside and see what we can do. And let us investigate and see what the heck is going on here as the frame rate drops. And this is from the game, by the way, not my capture device. Just figure I'd throw that out there.
You?
It seems you are special, too.
I am Sam?
That name rings familiar. You remind me of him.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means you are not whole. You are incomplete. Allow me. To test your strength! So here we go, time to fight the optional boss in Hollow Bastion, who is exclusive to Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. In order for this guy to show up, I am not exactly sure what the requirements are, but I'm pretty sure is you have to complete Hollow Bastion the second trip, and I do believe that'll be when you can fight this guy. But then again, you may have to reach final rest at the end of the world and examine the final door, before heading inside. However, this is just a pure guess at this point. As for the mysterious figure himself, this guy is purely shrouded in mystery. However, according to the Kingdom Hearts wiki, and this may be considered a spoiler, but this guy who we're fighting right now, he is actually known as Xemnas. Yeah, Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2. Want to know more about him? Well, you're going to have to wait until Kingdom Hearts 2 when I eventually play through that game. Which is going to be quite a long, long while before I eventually start before I start playing Kingdom Hearts 2. How far into the future? Nobody knows. Even I don't know at this point. Excuse me. Got a freaking burp. Also, having moves like Strike Raid is very helpful. Sonic Blade could also work out here too, because that move also makes you completely invincible. However, I feel like Strike Raid is more useful because you can attack at a longer range. But that is just my opinion. All I have to say about this mysterious figure now is he's fast, he hits hard, and if I would have fought this guy at my level 60-ish counterpart, I would have been dead faster than the Ice Titan took me out and took me to freaking school. But now that I'm in the freaking 90s as far as levels are concerned, as you probably saw by my stats right about now, I'm kind of turning this boss into a joke. But then again, that's probably just due to my abilities. And also due to the fact that unlike some of the other optional fights that we've had up to this point, with the exception of the Phantom and also the one back in Agrabah, who we had... Dang it. What am I trying to say? This optional boss, we have our full freaking team, Donald and Goofy, by our side to successfully help us in defeating this guy fairly quickly. Impressive. This will be enjoyable.
What are you talking about?
It is beyond your comprehension for now. Until we meet again.
Wait, what are you?
I am... all of me. Oh, and a mere shell. And with that, we obtained the experience necklace and Anson's report number 13. Which, believe it or not, is the very last Anson report in the entire game. And also we obtain another trophy. He Who Doesn't Exist, Searcher, which came from the Anson reports, and Professor. Professor is a trophy which you get for unlocking all character entries within Jiminy's journal. And that includes some of the optional bosses, which, believe it or not, is relatively insane, along with fighting every single Heartless in the entire game. Yeah, seriously, we fought all the Heartless. It's unbelievable, am I right? Well, with that, every optional boss has been taken down. And next time in Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, it's time for the finale, ladies and germs. It's time to finish this game once and for all. So, see you all next time for the finale of this game.